Welcome to Der Hair for Kids. Join us as we explore the fascinating lives of our Rabbeim. This episode is dedicated in honor of the birthday of Michoel Shichy Wayden on Yud Zayin Adar. With brochos for health and success in all your learning, may you continue to bring Nachas and joy to your family and friends. By his parents, Mayer and Sara Wayden. In the previous episode, Reb Yisroel read the words that Reb Adam Baal Shem had written to him, as well as his instruction that Reb Yisroel should begin teaching Torah to the public. At first, Reb Yisroel was amazed by what he had read, but he was still not ready to reveal himself as a Rebbe. But soon after, other letters started coming from Reb Adam Baal Shem. Here are some of the messages that Reb Adam told Reb Yisroel in his various letters.
Reb Yisroel, I found out that you are refusing to reveal yourself. Remember, the world is being judged by Hashem. The world is like a scale. On one side, there are reasons for Hashem to give brochos to the world. On the other side of the scale are all the reasons that Hashem should chas v'sholem punish the world. If you don't reveal yourself, you will cause the scale to get heavier on the side of reasons for punishment. And Rahman al-Itzlan, the entire world will suffer because of your decision. Your decision to remain hidden is stopping Mashiach from coming. You must give away your desire to secretly serve Hashem in order to help the entire Klal Yisroel.
Reb Yisroel saw that he had no choice. He would have to reveal his greatness to the public and begin teaching Torah as a Rebbe and leader of the Yidden. Because of how humble he was, Reb Yisroel didn't think he was great enough to be a Rebbe. Here are some things that Reb Yisroel wrote to his teachers, friends, and relatives about how hard this decision was for him. To Reb Mordechai HaTzadik, Reb Yisroel wrote,
"Why is it that you are allowed to remain a hidden tzaddik, while I have to go public? Who am I to teach and lead other Yidden? There are many tzaddikim who are much greater and much older than me. Why was I chosen to be a leader and not them? Does it make sense that I should be the one to take tzaddikim greater than me and help them serve Hashem?"
Similar messages he wrote to other people, and he added,
"But it's not just that. There is something else that I am worried about. I know for a fact that when I will reveal myself, many people will be against my teachings and will try to destroy me. Yes, I fully trust in Hashem that He will help me, but what do I need this hardship for? Nevertheless, I know that this is what Hashem decreed that I must do. I also know that my Rebbe, Achio Ashiloini, agrees with the plan, and he promised that he will not visit me until I reveal myself. I have therefore decided to follow Hashem's decree. Still, this is so painful for me to do. There is only one idea that comforts me when I think about it. That if Hashem decreed that I need to lead others, then it must be that I have the ability to do the job well."
On Chai Elul, Reb Yisroel's 36th birthday, Reb Yisroel revealed himself to the world as Reb Yisroel Baal Shem Tov, a great tzaddik, teacher of Torah, who performs miracles and heals the sick. The Baal Shem Tov began to reveal the secrets of the Torah, later known as Chassidus. The Baal Shem Tov traveled to tens of large cities, small towns, and tiny villages. Wherever he went, Talmidei Chachamim were amazed by the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. Ideas like Hashem being involved in every detail in the management of the world, called Hashgacha Pratis, serving Hashem with simcha, the importance of loving every Yid no matter who, and so many other ideas in Chassidus are so obvious to us today. But in the times of the Baal Shem Tov, even great Talmidei Chachamim didn't know about these ideas. When Talmidei Chachamim would hear about the Baal Shem Tov and what he taught, many of them came to the Baal Shem Tov asking him to teach them how to serve Hashem in accordance with his new teachings. Only 6 years have passed from the day that the Baal Shem Tov revealed himself, and he already succeeded in gathering a large group of tzaddikim who became his Talmidim. These Talmidim were so great that some could see what regular people cannot see through the power of Ruach HaKodesh. Some Talmidim reached such high levels in Avodas Hashem that they merited to see Eliyahu Hanavi himself. And other Talmidim were able to ask questions from Shamayim and to receive direct answers. The Baal Shem Tov's Talmidim went to many different places and began to spread the teachings of Chassidus. Some Talmidim began to spread Chassidus in their own hometown, while others were sent by the Baal Shem Tov to other cities to spread Chassidus there. The Talmidim spread Chassidus wherever they went, bringing many people to learn Chassidus. In addition to their work in the cities in which they now lived, these Talmidim would travel around from town to town. Wherever they went, they would tell people about the Baal Shem Tov, his great miracles, and of course, these Talmidim would give Yidden a taste of the Baal Shem Tov's teachings. As a result, many Yidden across Europe became students and followers of the Baal Shem Tov. Here is one story which will help us understand how this worked. One fine day in the city of Kalisk, a man showed up and made himself comfortable in one of the town's shuls. Two students, Usher and Yitzchak, were learning together in the shul. Usher asked Yitzchak,
Yitzchak, who's that man sitting over there? He seems like he never stops learning. I really don't know, Usher. All I know is that his name is Reb Chaim, and he just got here. He's a very quiet person. He doesn't take part in friendly conversations. He just learns Torah all the time.
Their friend Zelig came over to their table. Chevra, I'm telling you, you better take advantage of Reb Chaim. I just asked him a question on what I was learning. Reb Chaim sat down with me and explained the answer to me for a long time. He waited patiently until I completely understood the answer. Not only is he a great Talmid Chacham, he also seems to be very special in the way he behaves.
Did you notice that he barely eats?
Asked Simcha.
He fasts a lot. Even when he does eat, he only eats plain bread and cold water. On Shabbos, he has a tastier menu. And guess what that is? Plain hot water.
The students started coming over to Reb Chaim to ask him their difficult questions, and they were very happy with the clear answers that he gave. That night, while the Talmidim were leaving the shul to go to sleep, Yitzchak nudged Simcha.
Do you see what Reb Chaim is doing?
Simcha replied, No, what?
Look over there in the back of the shul. Reb Chaim is going to sleep on a bench and using a tree stump as a pillow.
Whenever Reb Chaim heard people speak against the Baal Shem Tov's Chassidim, he would raise his voice and say, Do you not have anything better to do than to speak badly about other Yidden? If I wasn't so old and weak, I would go and visit their Rebbe myself. Although this made it clear that he had great respect for Chassidim, at the time no one knew that this Reb Chaim was really a secret Talmid of the Baal Shem Tov. Reb Chaim became very popular among the older students. They loved to hear Reb Chaim give shiurim and share his chidushei Torah, ideas in Torah that he had come up with. Reb Chaim would keep on telling them, Our Chachamim teach us that a person must travel far away to a place of Torah study. You Talmidim would do so much better if you traveled somewhere else to learn. Taking his message seriously, more and more Talmidim started to ask Reb Chaim, Where should I go to learn Torah? Reb Chaim would send each student to a place which he felt would be the best fit for that particular Talmid. Among the Talmidim who would speak to Reb Chaim was a group of very clever Talmidim led by a genius of a Talmid named Reb Avraham. Reb Chaim advised this group to travel to a faraway village in the region of Volin, and that is where they went. Now Volin was an area which already had a lot of Chassidim. The Talmidim studied there for a few years, and then they came back home to Kalisk. Reb Zundel and Reb Zelig were speaking in the shul in Kalisk one morning.
Reb Zelig, look who just came back home. It's the Bochrim who Reb Chaim sent years ago to Volin. You know, Reb Zundel, it's been so long, and they've gotten much older. They look so different.
Yeah, and did you notice that they act differently too?
Honestly, Reb Zundel, I was a bit preoccupied lately. What are you referring to?
Tell me, Reb Zelig, do you know any Talmidei Chachomim that are smiling all the time and talking to everyone like they were old friends?
No, Reb Zundel, I don't know any Rav or Talmid Chacham that acts that way. Most Talmidei Chachamim I know are extremely serious and stick to their own learning. But what does that have to do with anything? Reb Zelig, did you notice that these Talmidim are very happy all the time, speaking very friendly with everyone? Really? That's quite strange. Shoi, Reb Zundel, genug reden, enough talking, the minyan is about to start. The minyan began. Everyone was davening quietly and quickly, as they always did. Suddenly, a sound of singing was heard in shul. People turned around to see who was making all the noise, when they realized, to their shock, that the noise was coming from the very same Talmidim who have just returned home from Volin. And if that weren't enough, all of the Talmidim began to daven out loud, stopping once in a while to sing a deep nigun, snapping their fingers and clapping their hands from excitement, as a result of a slow and emotional davening. After davening, the people in the shul asked each other, "What's going on with these Talmidim? What has happened to them? Why are they acting so differently? We've never seen anyone act this way before, singing and davening out loud." Reb Chaim, who was always seen as a quiet and self-respecting Talmid Chacham, made a sudden massive change in his behavior when these Talmidim came back. Gone was his usual quiet behavior, as Reb Chaim started speaking very warmly with the Talmidim like good friends. Every once in a while, Reb Chaim and the Talmidim would even start laughing during their conversations. The townspeople did not know what to think. Never have they seen a Talmid Chacham laugh before. One night, something happened that really shocked everyone. The community members watched in surprise as the Talmidim brought potatoes to the shul, warmed them up at the fireplace, and put a bottle of vodka on the table. They then sat down together with Reb Chaim to have a Chasidische Farbrengen right in the middle of the shul. The Talmidim told stories and danced together, which lasted for hours. Reb Chaim spoke to the Talmidim, after which they all danced again, this time in a large circle, with Reb Chaim dancing in the middle.
Who ever heard of such a thing, that Talmidei Chachamim should dance, tell stories, and drink vodka? Said Moshe. Reb Nosson added, "And what about Reb Chaim? He was always so quiet. How did he suddenly become such a great speaker and leader?" Reb Gershon added, "I never in my life heard of this so-called Farbrengen. What is going on with these men?" A few weeks later, Reb Nachman rushed into the shul, breathing heavily, with a big piece of news. "You won't believe what I just found out. You won't believe it." People crowded around him.
What are you talking about? What won't we believe?
Reb Nachman, barely able to catch his breath, broke the news. Our Reb Chaim, who we are all wondering about, is none other than the famous Reb Chaim Parush, one of the leading students of the Baal Shem Tov, founder of Hasidus. People gasped in disbelief.
What? How can this be? Are you sure?
The questions came flying. The entire city was in an uproar. Everyone was talking about it.
So it turns out that the Baal Shem Tov sent a secret messenger to bring Hasidus to our town,
said Avigdor.
Who would have believed that he would be so successful?
So Reb Chaim never was really that quiet after all, Shimon said thoughtfully. It was just an act. In the meantime, Reb Chaim and the Hasidische Talmidim pretended not to notice that everyone was talking about them. They just kept on doing their thing. A few days later, Shimon walked out of the shul to find Avigdor, his friend, about to walk in. Good morning, Avigdor. Guess what's going on in the side room of the shul? A Hasidische minyan.
What's a Hasidische minyan? Asked Avigdor. Do they have potatoes there too?
Reb Chaim and his Talmidim are davening there in a way that you have never seen before. Come inside and take a look. Avigdor peeked in and said,
They're davening so much slower and with more concentration and feeling than we do. There's a lot of singing, clapping. This is so different.
Soon the entire city came to watch the new style minyan. They had never seen such emotional davening in their lives. Reb Chaim's Talmidim began to speak with all the people in the city about the specialty of Hasidus, the importance of its ideas, and all about their great Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov. Reb Chaim himself went from shul to shul all over the city, giving speeches about Hasidus. Whenever Reb Chaim began to speak, people were mesmerized by his sheer talent and sincere words.
I never knew Reb Chaim was such a great speaker, said Moshe.
I know, Reb Moshe. Do you remember when Reb Chaim first came to our city? How we all thought that he was such a quiet man?
He's so inspiring. I better find out what Hasidus is all about. Reb Chaim's ideas sound incredible.
Within a few short months, Hasidus found its way into every home in the city of Kalisk. It didn't take long, and the entire city had become staunch Hasidim of the Baal Shem Tov. One of Reb Chaim's brightest Talmidim, who he had sent years earlier to study in Volin, later became one of the famous Talmidim of the Mezritcher Maggid, who was the next Rebbe after the Baal Shem Tov. He would later become known as the Tzaddik Reb Avraham Kalisker. These kind of stories repeated themselves in many towns and cities around Europe. Wherever the Baal Shem Tov's Talmidim went, they did whatever they could to introduce the Yidden to the teachings and lifestyle of Hasidus. Soon, Hasidus took over many cities and towns across Europe. But what was so special about the Baal Shem Tov's miracles? And what were the special teachings that he shared with his Talmidim? To find out, please stay tuned for the next episode of The Hair for Kids. Thank you for listening to The Hair for Kids, where we explore the fascinating lives of our Rabbi.